Hello and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a little while since I've sat in front of the camera like this. Not for any specific reason other than I tend to use this arm thing behind me, so I don't tend to set up the tripod, and that's just one of those little things that I've got to go and get the tripod, and that's enough to make me not do it sometimes. It's fine margins with a lot of this, you know, when you're in the mood to do modelling, to turn the camera on, you kind of it's got to be easy. Otherwise you find a million excuses to why not to do it. So hence why this has been a long time coming, because I was meaning to do it after Scale Model World at Telford, and then in December and before Christmas, and on it goes. But there we are, here we are now in the new year 2024, so that has come around. So a few things to sort of recap on is what I've been doing in the meantime. So the show at Telford was very good. I did get a few model kits. It was a bit of an overwhelming show as far as they go. It's funny, I was in a larger group of quite a few people, like my local club, a couple of SIGs, and then I was staying with just 3 others. So it was like a small group inside a bigger group, where there was a lot of conversation, and then we talked about it at our December model club meet as well. So we managed to I got a lot of information from a lot of different people, and then as well as other people that I knew went there that I didn't go with. And it's surprising the feedback I've heard and I've got myself from the show. Many people thought it was the best thing ever. Other people thought, it was not quite as good as it has been before. I find myself falling in on the kind of finding it almost a little bit overwhelming in one sense, struggling to enjoy it in another sense, and then really enjoying it it's sort of parceled up into 3 bits. See, the Sunday was brilliant for me, the Saturday was a real sort of trial, and then Friday you're going up there, and it is a lot, it's a big show, and that's IPMS Nationals in the UK, if you're not following what I'm rambling on about. But overall I think it was a very nice experience, and at the club they're already talking about booking up for next year. I'm not so certain. That's kind of what we'll talk about in this video as we've gone through. There's things coming down the line that are all very positive that may slightly hold back what I'm doing here as we go forward. So I'm preparing for that, and I'm getting quite a bit done, so I'm ahead of schedule, so that if I do run out of time, or I do find that I'm busy quite a lot, obviously with work like I always am, hopefully the channel doesn't suffer. So that's my plan with that going on down the line. So my recap on the show was I was surprised how many people I met, both coming up because of the channel, coming up because they were people I knew, or other YouTubers, or people that were interested in the Spanish Civil War and all the rest of it, or have no idea about YouTube and were just there to talk, and I found it really enjoyable. So from the networking point of view, I was a little bit surprised, not ill-prepared, I guess, for the amount of people I need to speak to. And then that was on the Saturday. Come the Sunday, I was a lot more sort of prepared for it and on the right footing, and enjoyed it a lot more. So all in all, very interesting. There's a lot of things that came out of the show. A lot of it's not relevant now. I'm just sort of recapping for what I found. I did buy a few things that we'll talk about as we go down the line in this video or others, because I've got a bit of time now over the next week or so, so I'm going to be doing a few more talking head videos, because I'm ahead talking. So that's a little overview of my Telford experience. Since then and now, I've found time just to get in here and focus so difficult, for no real reason. The run up to Christmas, weather, all sorts of things I had to do, things that were happening, general life getting in the way, which is always a good thing. But I have managed to get a few things done. I've done a little bit of work. I've not finished anything. See, the Panhard was the last thing I finished. So off the back of that, I've got the we'll look at these all in greater detail in another video. I'll do a sort of bench update in a week or so, and hopefully I'll have a bit more done to some of these. But this is the ICM, hard to see, I'm well aware, SDK said 247, which is a great looking vehicle, and I've done a little bit of work to it. I've opened up the vents, I've done all of the interior, it's all done. I've primed and glued together the outside, everything is now ready. I've even done the touch up where I've glued it together and then sanded back where a little bit of paint bleeds come through. So just need to prime again with a little bit of spot prime with some Mr. Surfacer Black, then go over with the MRP Panzer Grey, get some decals on, start the weathering. So that's the main thing I've been doing sort of post Telford. As well as that, I've had a good go at trying to get this one back going. This is the Tamiya Yagged Tiger with an ABBA metal barrel. So this has been on the go for a long time. I started this 2022. I started this, and the ABBA barrel is joined. So you've got this wider section at the back, and then it kind of, I don't know what you'd say, you wouldn't quite say chamfer, it kind of blends into a smaller caliber diameter. And the way ABBA have you do that is you screw the two barrels together and it leaves a line, and you've got to fill it. I've never filled a gap on metal, and I honestly didn't know what to do with it. I tried so many different things, and in the end I used Milliput, and I blended, primed with Mr. Surfacer. This was a year ago now, and there's still no witness, or you can't see it. So I'm happy with that. So I've moved on with it. I've done a lot of texture work all around. Got the mantlet or front plate of the superstructure on. Glued the roof in. Tamiya, but I have had awful trouble with this all the way. I don't know why, with things fitting. That roof panel didn't fit in. The front panel didn't fit. Anyway, I'm assured it is me. So because plenty of other people have had no problem. But we're there. So now this is the first, right, the whole point of this is the first project that I finally get to use my, which is just to the side of you, 3D printer to print some tracks. And I'm going to use Tank Brushes on YouTube, Kai, who does STL designs, of German tank tracks, among other things. I'm going to print out the King Tiger tracks, and I've already done preliminary work on it. So he's updated the file. I've done a little test myself just to check, and this is with resin pins and a whole lot. So they're very good. So that is all a go now for this month, hopefully. So I need to get this together, and really I need to get this up to primer, which is easy. I guess it's Tamiya, isn't it? Glue the superstructure on. Another session, I think I get all the bits and bobs done. I'm using resin 3D tool clamps and towing cable clamps. So it's really, I'll pass the worst of it, put it like that. A couple sessions, I reckon that'll be done, and then the track's assembled and stuck on. And then I'm going to release that video at that point, and then later on we'll come down and paint it. So that's been going on, and that's with 3D printing. That was the last batch of 3D printing I was doing. It was up till Christmas, really. The weather's been so bad, I need to open the window just to let the tube go out. Like you do with spraying, same thing, you open the windows to let the tube out. The weather has been so awful in the south of England that I haven't really wanted to. So I haven't done a lot, and plus it was Christmas, so I wound down, and that was that. But that is all to come, like I say, in this next sort of period, that's what we're going to do. So that has been of great interest. I've also built the Tamiya Char B to completion, and added a lot of improvements to that with texturing, etch metal, using some wing nuts, 3D printed wing nuts, so I've used some there as well. I'm trying to incorporate some 3D printed stuff into my builds as I go forward so we can see what it does, and I have agreed to do a run of videos, so that's what I'm for the 3D printer, so that's what I'm trying to just incorporate in this next phase. So there might be a couple of weeks where you don't see much sort of build wise or modelling wise as we go forward, and then all of a sudden it should be relatively professional looking, fingers crossed, that it's consistent content with a kind of theme running through it, but not connecting all the videos, if that makes sense. That's my plan. So that's happening. This week is like my sort of last official like holiday after Christmas period, and then next week I've got it off, but I'm going to try and sort of work through some stuff to get this lined up before I go back to work proper, and then my actual work will get busy in about 2 months. So I've got again that period where I'm hoping, like I say, that I can get everything nicely packaged up for you guys, so as far as your viewing is concerned, you don't notice what's happening in the madhouse behind the camera. So I've got this kit here of one of the most, in my opinion, boring tanks of World War II. This is the Chaffee, well known as a German tank during the 1960s and 70s in any war film. This is the AFV Club Chaffee. And what a kit it's been. The video is done. Sorry, the video is recorded. So it will expose why I feel like that, I guess. But anyway, today I've been finishing this off. I lost the clear spray. I built half of this up, put it in a box because I thought, you know, to say it nicely, ran out of enthusiasm, but I could say it in a more sweary way. And I've decided in this quiet period that I've got, well, this was a £55 kit, so let's just get it built and get the box recycled, do you know what I mean? So it's gone and it's done. And I lost the clear sprue in between that kind of 3-month pause, which had the cupola on it and the lights. I've got to wait until I scratch build the lights before I find the clear sprue, so that's the one thing I haven't done. I've managed to get a Sherman cupola, which again isn't the same but it's close enough, and put that on there, and then use the kit doors, and then I've got to make up the tail lights, and when I do that point I'll pull a drawer open and find the clear sprue, but it won't show itself until then. It's AFV Club, it's over engineered, it's fine, it's unusual. There aren't many kits, good kits of the Chaffee. It's a very uninspiring model to build, subject wise, for me. Some people I'm sure would love it, and then it's great. But I'm getting there, the hardest work's done. The reason it's there we'll get into in another video. Maybe reflections on agreeing to do things you shouldn't, or signing up to things you haven't got time to do. But anyway, that and this, because some of you might be interested in this. So the Chaffee and this Sherman, and it was meant to be a Stuart, was all built for something. That was the idea. They were bought, certainly bought for something and built for something. I'd signed up to do some books, and it was all good, it was all agreed. All I had to do was sign the contracts, and I did have a window to reflect. So the contracts came through to be signed, and once you've done that, you've agreed the book needs to be written, which was for modelling US Armour to start off. There was a couple of books, King Tiger as well. These are modelling books, and I had plenty of time to think about it, and the more time I thought about signing those contracts, the less inclined I was to sign the contracts. And it got to November. I'd already built this. Like, this was finished in like August, and this was started having to take photos all the way through, but I was filming it at the same time. And I actually got to the decision that I felt like I couldn't go for it, because I'd be doing it now. I'd be writing the book, and I just, thankfully, I have not had time. Let alone whether I would have been capable of doing it, because I've never written a book. And before it looks like I'm going, oh, I was writing a book, this wasn't difficult. I think anyone could do it. I was in the right circles where I met someone who then put me in touch with someone who offered me the chance to write a book. It's not about skill level, it's not about knowledge, it's not about the amount of books you've written. It really is the right place at the right time, and frankly, who you know. That's all it was. So if anyone is a budding author out there, there are opportunities. So, you know, just maybe ask around publishing houses or ask around people who write books, and doors do open. So I was surprised from that point of view. But it's not something I want to do going forward. Doesn't fit for me. But anyway, the good news for you is I've filmed all of this. So this model here is the Tamiya M4 Sherman. Well, there is only one, and it's a good kit. It's a great kit as far as building and fun and all of that. Is it the most accurate M4 Sherman on the market? Well, no, but that's not why we're building it. So this is one in the Italian front, and it's got the nice camouflage on it, which they did, the sort of sand camouflage. And it's all good, it's all there, it's all done, it's all painted, it's matted down. There is a couple of splashes of resin from the 3D printer on it, which I can just sand back slightly and matte over again. They're shiny more than anything, so that's fine. So I just need to weather it. Now this is going to be a new addition, not revamped, not replacing, it's going to be a new addition to the absolute beginner's guide to building a model tank to this point. On this one, I've started weathering with an airbrush, so it's the same old thing, you know, using an airbrush to get you to this point. I just don't know. I haven't made a decision on how I'm going to show the weathering, because before I've done it just with oil paints you can buy. I'm just trying to think how you would do the weathering as an absolute beginner in the best advice. There's loads of ways you can do it. You can do it with oils, you can do it with airbrush, you can do it with enamels, you can do it with acrylics. But I'm trying to think from the point of view of someone who's never built a model tank before, what is the best way for that person to move forward into weathering to then find the magical world that is beyond that in growing your hobby. I think I'm going to probably go down like with just pick 3 colours from like the off-the-shelf enamel washes, things like that. But anyway, this is all to come. This is all part of the excitement for Armour Modelers. So there is going to be a brand new Tamiya out of the box, build along with me sort of thing, which I did with the Panzer II a long time ago, which feels out of date when I look back at it. I have watched it occasionally just to sort of research, and I feel like I would do things differently now, and this is the opportunity for me to do that. So that will be coming back, which is exciting. The Chaffee is just part of that aspect. That's like a beginner. The idea behind the book was beginner, medium, and then it's not expert. What might have been involved? No, it wasn't that. Something like that. And it was a nice term meaning takes a bit more effort, basically, not necessarily skill. So that is why those models are on the bench. I'm due to finish the Chaffee. I've also got this funny little thing. This is Panzer 1C, which I nearly threw across the room, which is part of the Christmas haul, if you like. I've just been putting this together really to break up. Nice to have a bit of German on the bench, isn't it? You know, nice to have a bit of German. Shouldn't joke with things like that. I said we had family over at Christmas, not sort of my direct family, the missus's family, and she said, "Oh yeah, Jason likes the Germans." I thought, do I? If that's what I'm putting out, I need to rethink what I'm putting out. I like the Germans. Anyway, they had interesting vehicles, didn't they? We can say that much. So there's a big pile of stuff behind there, very armour heavy. For those of you that like aircraft, that's happening as well. So don't worry, it's going to be exciting. I'm even hoping to do some bombers. So there we are. I'm not going to say any more on that, and I'm not going to give you any timescale when, but I'm hoping for some 4-engine bombers and certainly a 48 fighter, as well as a couple of 172nd. Oh well, I will commit to these. Look, here we are. Right, I got these. So we've got a D-Day group build as part of my club, and I'm going to build the Typhoon and the Tempest. 172nd, straight out of the box. Tape belts, the lot, you know, Airfix, back to good old 172nd stuff. So that's nice as well. So all of that is coming down the line. So this video is getting a bit long in the tooth. So if you've gone this far, that's kind of a little recap of what I'm talking about. There's one last thing I want to mention, which may have been here all along, or it might have been just out of camera, don't know. I have made the decision to bring this aspect into this channel after much debate in my mind. I've always felt this is separate. I've since, rightly or wrongly, I mean you can tell me, but I've since thought, I don't know that this is separate to scale modelling. I think if you put a load of sprues on a table, a tank is a tank, a plane is a plane, a figure is a figure. I mean, I think if you take scale modelling as plastic sprues, this has to fit into it. So I like Games Workshop stuff, Warhammer, 40k, all that sort of thing. So I'm going to bring a little bit of that in as and when. That does not mean that is going to be the next 6 months is me making Warhammer videos. It means when I feel like doing a bit of Warhammer, and then I think, oh, I can't really film it, well, I am going to film it, talk about it, put the video up, and if it's not for you, you don't need to watch it. Because if this is for you, well, this will be coming on behind. So I don't think that's going to cause mass controversy. I think if I'm bringing in 3D printing to the channel, then this is more adjacent, which is more topical than 3D printing is to scale modelling. So I think it'd be interesting, and it's nice escapism. What I find is when you get bogged down in the world's most boring tank, I don't mean it. I know there's people that love the chaffy out there, I'm sure of it. Painting one of these in an evening breaks that up and gets you back to finishing off the turret. That's kind of the way I look at it. So it's all a hobby, it's all good fun, and I hope that was of interest. So we'll be going into more depth in aspects of what was mentioned in this video, but hopefully it was nice to see content of me back in front of the camera. I hope that's a good thing for some of you, and there'll be more of that coming down the line as we go. Now I've broken the back of it, as it were, and put a video out. So there we are. I'm going to continue and finish off this thing, and then we'll be up with a new video very shortly. So as always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you got for Christmas and what you've been up to. Did you get much modelling time over the break, or any of you back to work now? You've got an extended break like me. I'm not back until the 15th. 10 more days. Lucky me. It'd be interesting to hear. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.